briefly, kind of sum up everything we kind of talk about, like what really makes you not a statistic.
What makes me not a statistic is...
Y'all gonna make me cry.
Woo! Girl, that's heavy. Let it go, girl. Yeah. Let it go. Whew, Jesus. Thank you. Girl, you're an overcomer.
Ooh, that's a good question. What makes me not a statistic? Ooh, I wasn't prepared for that.
All the knowledge I had from the past failures to this business, and you're talking about going from zero to like $600,000 a month within 2 years.
Woman, people call me phenomenally Black woman. People call me strong. I'll be all of that. But I just want to see the women that God has called to do a work actually do the work.
I allow God to use me, to my fullest capacity. So in every single area of my life, God has access to me. But like the song says, my storage is empty. My storage is completely empty when it's for God. So I'm not a statistic because I'm withholding nothing from God. Nothing. Everything that I have is God's. Every area of my life, God can use me in every single area of my life. There is nothing off limits to God. Nothing.
Because at the end of the day, it's more to us than the kitchen. It's more than us to just Sunday school teaching. It's more to us, watch this, than wearing poofy dresses and big hats and sitting in the pews and just being quiet. There's more to us than that. If I can be successful in the marketplace as a woman, then as a woman of God, in whatever capacity that God has me in, let me be me and let God do the rest.
I teach in the book that you are the greatest technology that has ever existed. There's nobody like Chanel. Nobody. There's nobody like Robert. And what I recognize is that alone, that nobody else carries my DNA.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the return of Not A Statistic TV. I'm actually on Instagram Live as well as Facebook, YouTube. Hey, Siobhan, she's on Instagram. I want to thank each and every one of you all who have came back. Man, it has been a journey these last, 4 months, I should say, the least. And God has really taking myself and this brand on a roller coaster. I really can't say. So I want to thank each and every one of you all who's coming on, who's even on Instagram. I want to say, hey, I actually have not been on Instagram by myself. So I am so proud of myself. Okay, so if you on, say hey, say what's up, tell me where you're from. We got a special guest, y'all, tonight that I'm so excited about that's going to be coming on a little bit later. So stay tuned. I wouldn't want to miss this story because, man, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. Hey, Dwayne, thank you so much. It feels good to be back. I definitely want to, hey, Robert JC, he's on Instagram. Appreciate you. Hey, Siobhan. Like I said, I'm on Instagram as well. So I want to thank each and every one of you all. I miss you all so much. It's been, like I said, a journey. So I really missed you all, and I'm just getting back into the groove of things. So I'm going to just start out by saying how God has really transformed my life like a whole 360 within the last 4 months. So some of you all may or may not know, I lost my mom in January, and a lot of you all don't know is that while the show was going on in September all the way to January, my mom was like having her like later days. Her health took a big toll. life was started to transform, but I still got on the show, still smiled, even though I had to make some crucial decisions when it contained to my mom and our life and everything that was surrounding us. I really was, like I said, I've been a sole provider for 10 years for me and her. And people didn't know that I was just literally just coming from the hospital, running back to the house to get on the show every Monday night. So I think each and every one of y'all who even prayed for me during this transition in my life, he even like been here and just being a help during this time. Some of you all have seen me travel, me doing different things, but also I'm in my healing season. And I think sometimes when you're in your healing season, it may not look like what everybody else healing season may look like, right? Sometimes even your grieving season, it may not look like your neighbor's grieving season, right? And I learned during this time of my life where I can't place emotions. I can't place different things. Hey, Cliff, appreciate you. I can't place different, emotions on myself when it came down to just my life, right? With the whole, my mom's transitioning out of this world, right? I had to just love me and accept my new life, right? It wasn't easy, right? I really didn't have a choice, to be honest with you all. But I say, you know what, God? You said I was built for this. You said you never leave me nor forsake thee. Your word says it will never return back to you void. So I'm going to just live it through with your strength. I can literally do all things through Christ, right? And during this time, it wasn't always pretty. It wasn't always nice, right? I'm not going to lie to y'all. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to bring back this show. I don't even know if Not A Statistic TV was going to be back into existence. And I just didn't want to start something and just automatically quit because I knew Not A Statistic, I live that. Like, I absolutely live it, okay? So if you're on Instagram, hey, appreciate you coming on. I live it. So when I tell you all that God literally can transform your life and really bring forth people that love you and care for you during your transitioning, during your healing season, because we all go through different emotions during our healing season. Sometimes we have triggers. Sometimes we get very angry. Sometimes we react out of anger. Sometimes we cut out people. Sometimes we move prematurely. It's a lot of things kind of take place in our healing season because not only are we transitioning, but also we get to know who we are, right? Where we literally letting our wounds turn into scars, right? We on a journey to wholesome, right? So like I said, during this time, not gonna lie, stop talking to some family members. Wow. Thank you, Dwayne. He said, you are an inspiration. I love your shows. You gave me the idea to go live. Glad God keep you wanted to bring it back and keep it going. Absolutely. I appreciate you doing it so much for that. So yeah, like I was missing on Mondays, man. Like, people was asking me to get on live with them, and I was like, no, I'm like literally just resting during this time, and I just didn't want to bring it back, and I just wasn't ready, right? I wasn't ready to release my emotions, because sometimes you can bleed on people when you don't have clean hands, you don't have a clean heart, and sometimes you pour out when you're not really fully ready. And I mean, God was giving me to go. I am well rested, okay? I am well rested. So, I mean, like I said, I appreciate you all asking, hey, is the show coming back? Hey, what's going on? Hey, can I get on your show? I really appreciate you all doing this time because, like, I mean, like I said, if it wasn't for the prayers of the righteous, I don't know if I could have kept on going, I kept on striving and keep going and even going after, my dreams and goals outside of Not A Statistic, right? Because this is just the beginning for so much that God has in store for me and everyone that's connected to me. So like I said, I definitely appreciate you all. Even though in this time, you all, can I be honest, because this is a very transparent, very vulnerable show. And I'm gonna be real. Like I had to like check up the deuces on some people that I really just knew they was gonna show up for me during this time. Like people that family members showed they behind, right? Like showed their true colors. And I tell people that my mom really, honestly, was prophetic, because she told me a lot of things that happened and took place after her death, and even during the time that she was transitioning and stuff like that. People told me, like, she told me like how my life was about to change, right? But the time she said, I was like, I don't even know what you mean by that, right? And I really wasn't ready to accept it. You know, even I seen it, like, you know, some people would tell me like, oh, you know, when somebody is about to transition, stuff like that. But I knew it firsthand because I seen it firsthand. Like, I seen it for myself, right? And to say that me and my mom were just like this, like it was just me and her, and that's all I know. And I knew it was really hard to have to accept that. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like, I had to get a therapist like ASAP, because I was like I'm really scared of my emotions. Like, I'm being real right now. Like, I'm scared of my emotions. Like, some of you all may know, like, during a funeral, I didn't cry. I cried in obviously my downtime, when obviously when the world shuts down, pretty much, as they say, and you like soaked in your thoughts. And I'm a late worker, so I work and I strategize and I be on the wall at night in the midnight hours. So that's when things start to rush and hit me, right? When I could call my friends and my prayer warriors and my intercessors who are connected to me and be like, hey, I need you to pray for me. But I got to get them a break too, right? So God literally was giving me the strength to pray for myself, to give myself like, you know what? You're going to overcome this. It's going to be okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel this way. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to smile. It's okay to live. It's okay to cry. It's okay to say, you know what? I don't feel like being bothered. It's okay to turn your phone off. It's okay to put do not disturb. It's okay if you want to stay in bed today, but don't stay here. Don't, you know, dig up a grave for yourself and bury yourself in it. It's okay to cry, but it's okay to get back up. It's okay to rest, but it's okay to get back up. Because I knew one thing, you all, was I knew to rest, but I knew not to quit. Right? And I said, if I rest too long, I may quit. But I just knew was that the vision and mission that I have for Not A Statistic TV and my brand is so much bigger than Chanel Rains. It's so much bigger than what my eyes can see right now, right? It's so much bigger than, you know, the views that I might have. It's so much bigger than that, right? Because I don't do it out of my own strength. I don't do it for my own reasoning, right? I do it because, hey, Siobhan, appreciate you tuning in. I don't do it out of the sense of trying to give me glory, but trying to give God the glory at the end of the day, because you have to test. In order to have a test, you have to have a testimony. You have to have a test. And during this time, it has truly been a test. It has tested my character. It has tested my personality. It has tested my pockets. Come on now, somebody. It has tested everything that contains to me. It has, literally, it's a really, I'm not going to lie, this season has really depleted me in so many ways. And also it have really built me up in areas that I didn't even know that I was able to kind of overcome, right? So when I tell you that, grief comes, in different ways, right? Like, I tell people that I was grieving before January 9th, 2021. Like, honestly, I was definitely grieving way before then. Because some of you all may or may not know, my mom had been sick for a very long time, right? But when I tell you the power of God kept her, God's healing power kept her so many years, when doctors said, oh, she's not going to make it in 2017, when they said she wasn't going to make it in 2016, literally God's healing power restored her, kept her. You said no, because if anybody knew me in 2018, that was one of the roughest seasons and time of my life. Went into deep depression, was having suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideation. All that was going into place when I was almost close to making that decision to just take my whole entire life. But God kept me. God kept my mother. God kept me to say, you know what? Nah, baby, you gonna live and not die, and declare the works of the Lord. You gonna live and not die. You gonna keep on pushing. You gonna keep on pressing. And who would have thought that he will allow me to produce this show to not only share my story, not only share my story, but share so many other people's story who have been incarcerated, people who have been high school dropouts, people who, all type of things people have went through, and look at them now, successful. Some of them have overcame some of the toughest challenges in their lives, and they're here to share with you all, right? And I'm not only am I honored for them to accept the invitation, but I'm also honored that they're willing to share their story and be vulnerable with you all as my audience and say, you know what? If they can do it, so can I. If they can get out of Inglewood, so can I. If they can get out of homelessness, so can I. If they could get out of homosexuality, so can I. If they can get out whatever situation they may be going through, they know. So my guest is on. Hey, Siobhan, thank you. Thank you so much. So yeah, my guest is just joined. So like I said, this platform has literally allowed me to not only share my story, share my vulnerability, share my transparency, but it has allowed me to connect and meet other people so they can share their stories with me as well. So I won't prolong. I want to, like I said, thank each and every one of you all who's tuning in. Thank you, Siobhan. Thank you, Cliff. Thank you, Dwayne. If you are on, speak, say hey, say what's up, tell me where you're coming from. Like I said, I'm currently live on Instagram as well. Hey, Didi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love my sister. This has been one of the intercessors who have prayed me through, who have been in my corner during the toughest time of my life. So I thank you, sis. I love you so much. So I won't prolong. I'm going to welcome my special surprise guest. He's from Texas. We're going to have Eugene Graham. So I'm going to add him on to the... Hey, Eugene.
Hey, what's up? I'm from Baltimore, but I live in Texas now.
You live in... Okay, you from Baltimore. Okay. Don't... Forgive me.
It's
How you
all
doing,
good.
brother? How you
Man,
feeling?
I'm grateful. I'm grateful and thankful, man.
That's good. So yeah, you my surprise special guest. So introduce yourself to the people. Obviously I got connection through Kim and a former business partner of mine, and she introduced me. She told me great things about this man and said, hey, this is definitely a man whose story you want to share. And we talked on the phone for a very long time. He really dug deep into his story. This man is definitely an overcomer. He overcame some challenges that I don't even know if I could still be standing to this day. But he has stood the fight. He have overcame, and he's willing to share his story. So we're going to have no other than Eugene Graham. So welcome to the show. I appreciate you coming on.
Welcome. I appreciate you having me, man. It's an exciting moment in time for me right now. Like I said, I'm Eugene Graham. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. But I live in Texas now. Baltimore raised me, but Texas pays me. So that's what it is, Man, I'm just like everybody else, but I'm here to help everybody else. And my purpose is to share and teach. Every day I wake up, I want to learn something and share and teach with the people because, that's what you get your blessings from and you get your returns. The universe pay you to the price of the value that you bring to it. So every day I get up, I want to make sure I'm bringing value to it in any way I can help.
Absolutely. Eugene, is there a way you could pull the camera back a little bit so we can see you? Yeah, appreciate you. Okay, appreciate you. Yeah. That's good. And you're absolutely right. Like you have to share your story, man, because it's not for you to keep. It's you have to go through so somebody can get through, right? You have to go through the trying times. You have to go through the different challenges in your life so somebody else that's coming behind you can get through that same exact thing, because obviously you here to share it. You hear it. You was able to overcome it. So tell me a little bit about your past, man. Let's dig a little deep about your upbringing. How was your upbringing?
But my upbringing, like I said, I'm from Baltimore. We grew up in a projects. We was poor, poverty stricken. Probably my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, uncles. There's probably about 10 relatives and about 8 kids living in one project apartment. We used to share clothes, share bed, just like everybody else, you know,
Wow.
roaches, everything like that, And at that age, we were just going through so much. We was cutting school at that age, cutting school, not wanting to go to school, hiding in the closet. And at that age, I used to just have a lot of behaviors so that my mom can spend time with me. Which she was a young mom because she had me when I was 15. And so one day, I had a behavior in school so she could pick me up and we spending time. We watching stories and all that. And then, my family members came over, my father and them came over, and actually they was getting high. My mom and them got high at that age. They've been getting high since they was like 17. And so we was in the bed having a nap, taking a nap, and when the other family members came back home later that day, they asked me to get my mom and where my mom was at. And I'm like, yo, she upstairs asleep. She was 7 years old at the time. She upstairs asleep. And so they kept calling and calling her, and she didn't never wake up or didn't never answer. So I go up there to wake her up, but she wasn't responding. So a few minutes later after that, you realize they called 911 and all that stuff. My mom was a heavy set woman. So they put all the kids in the front room, but my mom was a heavy set woman, so the fire department couldn't even get our body down the stairs. So at 7 years old, I experienced them having to take my mama and drop her body out the front window of the projects. And now I look at it as like, yo, my mom OD'd in the bed beside me when I was 7 years old. Like we went to sleep, she never woke up. I watched my family give her drugs, and for so long, I carried that burden. I carried that burden and fighting and doing things when anybody talk about my mom or I wear that emotion. And what I had to realize, yo, and even today, people say it sound crazy, yo, but I had to realize, like, yo, my mom was a junkie, but that had nothing to do with me. That was her life, and that's what she chose to live. But for so long, I didn't understand that, and
Wow.
by not understanding that, it allowed me and it forced me to carry certain behaviors over into my life as an adult because the things that I experienced when I was in my cognitive years and I was going through life still searching for that motherly love or affection. But I was sleeping with women, but I never understood why I never laid beside a woman or never laid in that spoon position or never cuddled or never was able to give a person a proper affection that they wanted. And then when I started discovering and developing my own program and finding myself, I realized the woman that I loved laid next to had died. So I never let nothing else come next to me. And that's what was playing on my subconscious. So until I healed them wounds, I was never able to have the proper respect for a man or woman.
Mm.
So it left me in a place. But at the same time, I was lost because I would get in relationships and start overcompensating for things trying to keep them boys in my life, to keep that woman in my life. But then as at the same time, I had to tell myself I already lost the number one woman that I can possibly always love. So why am I scared to lose another one? So I was fighting with myself and suffering in silence.
Ooh. So when you say, wow, you got me over here like, oh, my Lord. Okay, so would you say when you said that you feel like you had to overcompensate because you said you was really like you was because you was missing your mother, right? You didn't have that affection, you didn't have that motherly love that you wanted, so you didn't really know how to give that to a woman, right? So when you did have a woman, you would just kind of like buy her different things, trying to buy her love in a way. Would you say?
It was that, but it was also me wanting to fill a void for a family because when I left Baltimore, you know what I mean, I left my family behind, but I got a bunch of tattoos and I started my first company was to bring them with me. And so that way I got them tattooed on me, got my brother's face tattooed on me, and that was the way that I carried my family with me. So when I left Baltimore and I started becoming who I wanted to become, I wanted to share that with them, but they couldn't see it. When I left, when I left, I was so messed up. And this is what people gotta understand. Everybody got 8 phases in life, and it just depends on what phase you in. So that phase that I was in, I was lost. And like I said earlier in one of my posts, my name was damaged because I was a kid that read on a 4th grade reading level. When I was getting locked up, I was starting to sell drugs and things like that, and I was conflicting the image that my grandmother, to this day, even though she passed, never knew I hustled in the streets. So I would have women bring me clothes like they was taking care of me to not give that perception to my grandmother because I never wanted to break her heart like I was doing something that was against her. But her house got raided. So when her house got raided and they put the guns in her face and laid her down on the floor, it was an embarrassing moment. And then she kicked me out and said, I never wanted to see you again. So for about 8, 9 months, I didn't even get to talk to my family. And I had to sneak back in the house and get much clothes as I can when they wasn't home. And I was just walking through the streets with a duffel bag full of clothes. And my homeboys was on their way to college. It was like, yo, you look bad. Like, yo, we can't have you out here like this. Like, you gonna go to school with us. So they took me to Kentucky with them with only a duffel bag full of clothes. And I was living in a dorm, not going to school, and they stealing pizza out the cafeteria just so I can make it. And that's how I started my journey. And I was trying to get in school, but I didn't have the right grades, so I wasn't eligible. And I struggled with reading and stuff like that. So I had to go to the community college around the corner to get eligible. But my friends, they was taking my classes online. I would always take online classes because I struggled with English and reading. Like I said, I read on 4th grade reading level. So these are those ways and things the way I had to maneuver to get good. And so then I left there and ended up in Texas. And so when I got to Texas, it was like I'm trying to find myself. I want to build a family and build a family, but I'll keep having hiccups and I'm not knowing why I'm having hiccups because I never healed from these traumas and things that happened in my cognitive years, that age from 0 to 10. You can remember them things more than you can remember today.
Yeah.
Because they have such an impact.
Hey,
But we don't realize that if you invert your numbers and invert your life, that every individual, you are what you were in them cognitive years. It's just that you may tweak it and develop it in a different way. But I am everything that my family gave me and now. So when you miss people and you lose people, you gain certain superpowers and them things can start coming out. You know, like
So
I have that.
that's
Go ahead.
good. Wow, 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 wow. We're gonna unpackage this. So when you went to Texas, right, and you said you started to obviously the trauma of the childhood, different things like that. You disappointing your grandmother, you having to leave the house, you losing your mother and stuff like that, and different challenges, you had to face. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that happened in the hood, man, that you ain't even talked about, right? Some dramatic issues that you had to deal with just even in the streets itself. So how would you say that how did you address that when you got to Texas? How was your way of obviously coping with it, but what was your approach as far as your healing? How did you approach that? Health.
Well, when I got to Texas, I actually went. I was still in. I came to Texas. Actually, I went to college in Texas.
Okay.
I went to college in Texas, and then while I was in Texas, and it was a shooting on campus, different things going on. A lot of people transitions in life. You want to move situations, but you move the situation, but you don't change your behaviors or you don't change the mindset. So you go to the new situation with the old habit that you had. That's why the results keep turning out the way they are. So there's no need of running if you ain't willing to adjust everything. Like I was still leaving, going different places, but I was finding drugs. I was finding different ways to hustle and do the things that I was doing in Baltimore. I never corrected that behavior. I never corrected that habit. So even when you're dating or when you're doing that, you'll leave one situation and find yourself in the same situation doing the things that you said you wouldn't do because you're going to do what's familiar to you until you're willing to change those habits. And so I was still doing that. And I wasn't really realizing why I was ending up in those situations until I became homeless in Texas. And I had money from college, and at that time I was just got hurt from playing ball, and I was in a relationship and it wasn't going right, and having bad credit and doing different things because I never thought I would be in this position. I thought playing basketball or hustling was going to be the answer.
Yeah.
But then when you're trying to get your life together and you start trying to put your stuff on stuff, then you'll realize, like, yo, I got growing up to do. I got to get my shit together, my stuff together. But people don't realize that because we look at ourselves and stop self-appointing yourself. You don't have to self-appoint yourself. Let other people do that. Because when you self-appoint yourself, and then when somebody tell you something else, it's always going to be a conflict of interest. If you're doing what you're supposed to do and practicing your habits, other people will let you know that. You don't have to let yourself know that. And that's where I had to start making the corrections. And so when you go from making money and you changing that lifestyle, and then you go from being homeless, and I was homeless for 2 years. And I had to make a choice, and I had got a job. You know, I was going to McDonald's every day, taking a bath and a shower, washing up in the bathroom, and doing different things like that to keep myself up, to keep my energy up, to keep my attitude in the right place. But you discover so much about yourself and the people around you, because everybody homeless ain't homeless because they want to be. It's a choice that they just don't want certain responsibilities. They don't want certain stress of jobs or paying bills or those certain expectations. And so for me, it was a situation where as though somebody offered me a job making $7.25 an hour, and it was either keep being homeless or take that job. And I took the job taking care of special needs people. And once I took that job taking care of special needs people, that's when I started healing. And that's when a real discovery and the real work started.
So how was your circle, right? So sometimes, you know, we tell people like you are who you hang out with, right? And I know from being from Baltimore, that's where you grew up at. That's what different things happen, different challenges happen, the trauma, all these different things that you just like, I'm finna get out of here. Like I know it's so much more. Then you go to Texas, you went to college, then something, you know, became homeless then. But how was it your circle? How was it the change? Because I mean, let's you know, he's saying the different things that happen, but I see the change in his circle just off his Instagram, y'all. Like I see he around some powerful men and women. So how has your circle change because you do become the product of your environment? So can you talk a little bit about that?
But your environment is expectations and exposure equals your environment.
Yeah.
So it's the expectations of others and the things that you exposed to. See, my circle didn't change right away because the people from Baltimore, like those brothers, helped me get on my feet. And to this day, I can still call them with anything that I'm going through in life. See, because you have when you have a team, you have your favorite 5 people. That may be your girlfriend, your children, and things like that. And then you have your secondary people. And see, that team, that original team that I was on, those guys that took me to college, like they my day ones, like they never gonna go nowhere. But in my transitions in life, based on where I'm growing to, they become my secondary people. But your secondary people still gotta be able to give you and bring you opportunities. Because you choose your friends by your future, not by your feelings.
Oh, say that again. Woo!
So
Say it again.
you choose your friends by your future and not by your feelings because you need to be associated with and do things with the people that you have in common. See, because that's what's going to help you sell. That's what's going to help you strive. That's what's going to help you go to that way. It's nothing against those other people, but sometimes you got to get on a new team to achieve old dreams.
Yes.
And get around people that can help you achieve that thing. And so what it became is, as I started growing and working in the special needs company now, going into the special needs company, I met a guy named David Howard. And he came in the house, see me taking care of God, and he was like, "Yo, what do you want?" I said, "Janitorial service." He said, "Come work for me." And I was like, "All right, bet." And at the time, I'm making $7.25. He like, "Yo, how much you want to make?" I'm like, "Yo, give me $9." But the whole message to the story is, I went to that job, and he gave me the job. But he said, "Yo, you gotta do paperwork." And I told him I quit because I had to do paperwork. Because, mind you, I told you I read on full grade reading level, and I'm not no speller. That's why I keep an $800 phone. Get the first three letters right, it's gonna tell me the rest. I know what it looked like. I just probably can't sound it out.
Yeah.
And what happens is, so he was like, "No, don't worry about it. I got you." I was like, "All right." So I had to go to the thrift store, buy some clothes, and I bought the wrong shoes. I didn't know nothing about work. This was the first job I had in my life, and it's the only job I had in my life, and I still actually work with the company. But when he did that, so he was mentoring me, and I was riding around in his van every day, learning how to read off his BlackBerry. He would just give me different things to read. So I had to let my ego and pride go because it was killing me at first, and I kept hiding from it. And that's why you see this ace of spade and this crack on my shirt is because the thing that I was hiding from became my strength, because now I turn all paperwork to the state, and I get a success rate to get all my clients approved at a 98%. From somebody that read on the full grade reading level. I was in special education in school. Now I'm teaching special information. All the things that I got joked on and running from became my strength today. So I'm telling everybody, yo, like, yo, your cracks is your strength when you embrace them. So once I started accepting things and I started understanding my own weakness inside, I was able to get people around me. Because when you fully transparent, that's when you fully can get help. When you fronting about where you at in life, when you fronting about your skill set, when you fronting about what you good at and your weakness, then you can never get the proper help. And that's why some of us is not going nowhere.
I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm gonna stop you right there because that is a key right there. How you can't get help if you're not transparent. No one can speak. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how you feel. I don't know if you need help. I don't know how it could be a benefit in your life. I don't know how it could be an asset to your life if you don't share the weak sides, if you don't share some of the things. Something that my pastor talked about yesterday is you have to let your guard down. You have to let your guard down. You have to be able to allow people to know, hey, I need help in this. And in this season in my life, when I just lost the most important person in my life, I had to let people know, okay, you know what? I ain't gonna lie, I don't know about that. I don't know how to put a framework together. I don't know about that. I ain't gonna lie, I don't got the money for that. You have to be able to be transparent with people and vulnerable with people because that's how people are going to assist you. So I want to talk about that because that was so good because sometimes, we hold on because we don't want people to see that side of us. We have pride and we allow pride to overtake us when whole time we really need help. Whole time we struggle. Whole time we depressed because we need assistance. So I'm gonna let you go and finish that. But I want you to also talk more about finish what you were saying. But I really want you to talk even more about how is the father figures in your life, right? Who helped you? Who built you up as a man?
Now, and again, this is the thing about all of that. So you can't. It's like going to the doctor, bro. Like, just say if you go to the doctor, if you lie about your symptoms, then he can never give you the right information.
Come on, that's
Like
good.
he can never give you the right medicine to fix your problem. But ask yourself this question. One thing that I realized, if I tell you everything that's wrong with me or tell you my flaws, you can't hurt me. What can you do with it? But we so worried about what somebody can do with it, yo. Like, that's you. They got their own flaws that they got to worry about. They can't do yours and theirs too. So stop worrying about whether somebody judge you. You the biggest judge of yourself, and your biggest critic. So it doesn't matter what somebody else think about your flaws. That just lets you know they ain't somebody that you need to be around. So it's easy to eliminate people when you fully transparent and you see how they handle you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, false father figures came. I had to forgive my father because in my mind, he's the one that did that to my mother. So
Mhm.
until I was able to forgive him and then forgive myself, that's when I was able to have a good relationship with other men. And like I said, the guy David Howard that I met, he's been like a mentor, father figure, one of the role models in my life up until this point. As I've been coming and transitioning to the man that I'm becoming today, he gave me the opportunity to look past my flaws. But other than that, it was my coaches from playing sports, and I had a big brother. He was like a big brother. We didn't train together. We still close to this day. I met him when I was like 12, and he was like that father figure, big brother to me.
Mhm.
And other than that, like I realized my strength was when I'm on a team, I'm at my greatest. When I try to be an individual, then that's when I have a problem because I don't believe in the word independent. It's no such thing. You can do everything for yourself, but nothing is by yourself. You can
Wow.
be you can be self-sufficient. You can be interdependent. Just like
Absolutely.
you got this platform and it works because I'm on the platform. It works because there's other people on the platform.
Right.
But it wouldn't work unless you had YouTube, Facebook, and these other entities
Right.
that allow you to do what you do. So everybody needs people. People needs people.
People
Even
need.
the most powerful, even the most powerful people in the world had help. You know, Jesus had 12 disciples.
Mhm.
Allah had messengers. So who are you to think that you don't need nobody to be your strong self?
Come on. Everybody needs somebody. Okay.
Until
And
they nobody needs nobody until they need somebody.
come on.
You know?
Exactly. Exactly. And sometimes when we look for help, it be too late. Sometimes it
But
be too
you but see when you see but people be faking like they looking for help because they really don't want to help. See, looking for help and still doing things your way don't work. See,
late.
when you go get help, you gotta do it the way the help telling you to do it, or it's not gonna work. It's just like me. I had to learn that I can't help nobody unless they let me help them the way that I can help them. Because other than that, then you gonna hurt me while I'm helping you. Now your problems become my burden, and that ain't what we want. You know, people be like, "Hey, can you help me out with this?" Yeah, but I gotta tell you the steps to take to manage whatever it is that I'm helping you with. Because if you keep doing it your way, you're gonna keep getting the result. But if you don't want to do it my way, then why you ask me for help? See, sometimes people ask for help just so they can reject it and do it their way anyway.
Right. Right. So let's talk about, and you're so right about that. So let's talk about ACE. Let's talk about, let's see your shirt. That's nice. Your shirt. Okay. So talk about that. Talk about the logo, the ease, how they send like this. Tell us everything about ACE, the program, and what you're working on and everything
See,
like that.
see, Ace Academy came about just because I started working on myself, and when I'm helping other people, that was the thing. Like I realized, like everything that you do in your professional life, it comes from the things that you're doing in your personal life. And
Absolutely.
so it's never the job, it's never the company, it's never none of that. It's all the things that's away from me. And like I said, so I developed things and we suffer from soft skills as people in our culture, like the communication, the teamwork, being flexible, being coachable. So I developed a program and I was looking at it and I started using it on myself. First,
Mhm.
it was accountability. But as
Mhm.
I started growing, I was like, yo, no, like it ain't accountability because everybody know what they're supposed to do. They just need people to hold them to a higher standard.
Yeah.
So then I was like, nah, it's about your attitude, bro. Like you get to choose what type of attitude you gonna have. You gonna put your attitude on just like you put on clothes.
Absolutely.
See, because you can have a great mentality with a bad attitude and it'll mess everything up. But when you got the right attitude, that attitude says so much about you before you can even speak.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I look at attitude, I look at the C, and ACE is commitment. So now when you look at your attitude, you got to be able to adjust. So when you look at attitude, you got to be able to adjust that idea, that thought, that feeling, because it interferes with your commitment level.
Yeah.
And then when you're thinking about that idea and that interest, then it's like, yo, what makes me want to have that idea? What makes me want to be committed to that thing? And then if I say I want to be committed to that thing, and what do I like about that idea, good or bad? Then how do I change that idea into a full commitment?
Wow.
And then a full commitment is me being able to go through whatever it takes to get the result that I want. But see, a lot of times we be interested and then we do things at our convenience. That's why we break our commitment.
Yeah. You said something right there. That's good. So who is ACE program for? So what's the age range? Like I know you said you really, build the program based upon, you getting yourself together, your healing process, stuff like that. So who is your target audience? Who does ACE program speaks to?
Right now, and I've been working with second chance people that's been coming out of prison, people that's been trying to reestablish themselves, people been trying to rebuild themselves along with high school teams and along with, people that's 15 to 17 in high school and youth AAU programs, but men and women that's trying to reestablish themselves just like me, because your name gonna take a hit. Your name gonna take a hit, but your name is a big deal.
Come on.
See, your name gonna take a hit, whether it's bad credit from what your parents did, whether it's the bad relationships you was in, whether you chasing other people's names, whether it was the name on the front of a jersey, whether it was the name of a designer, whether it was the name of a street, whether it was the name of a neighborhood. You put all them names before your last name. And so the same way we gotta rebuild our credit, and because you're gonna be the villain in somebody else's story.
Yeah.
You're gonna disappoint people. You're gonna let people down.
Gonna let them down.
And I'm gonna tell you, I was a good dude. I was helping people, but I didn't know I was damaging the situation at the same time because I thought because I was providing money that was all that was needed. So don't think because you're growing and outgrowing people that you always the positive one. Because sometimes when you're so talented and because you're better than people and because you're helping people, you can be damaging them and hurting their image and ego at the same time.
Yeah. Because sometimes we enable people, right? Like, I'm not going to lie to you. That has been something I struggle with. You feel what I'm saying? Because I felt.
Not only that, some help can be offensive. Depending on how you help people, some help can be offensive.
Yeah.
Some help can be manipulative.
Come on now. Some help
can be manipulative. Yeah.
So explain that. How can some help be manipulative? Talk about that.
Because someone can be helping you, but they can be keeping you in the same spot at the same time to benefit their personal gain, not necessarily to benefit your growth.
Yeah.
But it seems like they really there for you.
Come on. But it's more so to be on the receiving end. For them to receive. And you just be giving until you deplete it, right? And that's something I have struggled with.
You can be the receiver. Or you could be the receiver because it looks like a good gesture. You like, yeah, that's good for me. They got my back. But then when tragedy or something happens, things don't be the same. Then the relationship changes, and then those things start revealing what it pretends to be.
Come on. Yes.
So as you start mastering yourself, you're gonna discover what you really need and what type of help you really need.
Yeah.
But because we be doing things out of desperation and our back against the wall, we just start taking anything that look positive.
Oh man, you talking right there. Because sometimes people may not see, that, hey, this person really not got my best interest in heart, but it perceives to be good. It perceives to be helpful.
Because understand this, familiarity breeds contentment. And
Yeah.
contentment breeds, what that means is when you with somebody for so much and so long, and they go through things with you, and they see your flaws, and they see your struggles,
Yeah.
because they so familiar with you, they don't value you the same.
They don't value you the same. That
And
is
you become dismissible because they see all your shortcomings. But they don't never jump in and help you with the shortcomings. They just expose them to you when something don't go right.
Say that again. Okay, for the people on the back. See,
They're
they'll
just
talk about your shortcomings. They'll talk about it.
and the thing is that's a part of growth though. Because you can't see the picture because you in the frame.
You in the frame.
So you got to learn how to remove yourself out and really take accountability for your own actions too, and not so much look at the other people or what they doing. You got to be able to take yourself out and look back and slow down.
Yeah.
A lot of times I was running through life, but I had to slow down and walk through life and see all the things I was missing because I was balling but struggling at the same time.
Yeah.
So then when you hit certain phases of your life, things start coming and unravel because your foundation is not right. And again, and go back to Ace. That's why I got that backwards E is for all my flaws and the things that I was running from. And it means education, but I turned it backwards because I wasn't the best educated person. And I want people to know, like, yo, you don't have to be great at something. Just work on whatever you need to work on and embrace them flaws because that's where your natural gift is at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And see, the other E is execution. And when you put the education with execution, you can come up with some things, but it has a crack in it because the crack symbolizes that roses and flowers can grow from the concrete. And that's why the ace is in a flower. The spade is in a flower. And the spade symbolizes just like you the ace of my spade. That means to surround yourself with people that share the same values as you. Because then you don't have to worry about loyalty.
Right.
Because loyalty and trust is a behavior.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to worry about that if they share the same values and principles as you.
That's good. That's good. So what makes you not a statistic, Eugene?
Because I defy the odds and I always bet on myself. No matter what happens in life, you're not a statistic because you get a chance every day you wake up to rebuild your name. See, when you allow yourself to be a statistic, that means that you're playing victim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a victim, nor am I entitled. But I will do work to determine my outcome because I don't get what I deserve. I get what I earn.
Yeah.
And we in poverty. Like, yo, I'm already at the pity party, so how the hell can I have a pity party?
Come on. That's good. You look good every day to rebuild your name.
Yeah, every day you get a chance to rebuild. Yo, it's just like this. You gotta reboot a computer, you gotta reboot your cell phone, right?
Yeah.
So when you reboot it, what is that? Why do you reboot a computer or a cell phone? You reboot them things because something's not working right.
Come
It's
on, you
freezing
gotta
up.
upgrade. You gotta upgrade.
You may gotta upgrade, but it just be freezing up or running slow or it's too much connected. So you reboot it, and when you reboot it, it process all the things that it needs to so it can be running like it's supposed to. But then you also may have viruses. So you can detect the viruses that you need to get rid of. But see, we keep upgrading our phones and we upgrade everything around us, but we don't upgrade our attitude.
Woo! Come on.
We don't upgrade our habits.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So when you reboot, like, yo, what is the reason that you rebooting your computer? Because the Wi-Fi needs to be acting up or whatever, and you know you gotta get it back on track.
Mm-hmm.
Or what is that distraction? Because like it can be the weather, but in your life, what is that thing that you can say as the weather? It can be too much party, it can be too much TV,
Yeah.
whatever the thing is that you gotta cut it out and cut back on it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
and just like anything else, sometimes you got too much stuff hooked up to the internet service. So you gotta let go of some things. You can't have it all. You can get anything in life, you just can't have it all at once.
Come on, you can have listen, you can have it all, but can't have it all at once. So what advice would you give somebody right now who maybe feel like they bound in statistic lifestyle, right? They feel like they either on parole, whether they just got out of joint, whether they may be on the way to the feds, whatever it may be, but they feel discouraged right now. What word of encouragement would you give to that person who may watch this, who's watching this? You know, I don't know, who just for discouraged. What word of encouragement would you give to that person that's watching right now, or maybe watch this as a replay?
Well, I'm gonna tell you to tap in with me, holler at me and get with the ACE program. But also outside of that, if you don't choose to do that, yo, just stay within yourself because no matter what, just because they locked you up, you was great at whatever you was doing. So if you was great at whatever you was doing, you could be great at it again. Because they didn't lock you up because you was doing wrong. They locked you up because they couldn't control you and make a profit off of you. And just like myself, they told me, you know, hey, you can get 10,000, you can get 10 years or pay a $750,000 fine. But guess what? I've been working in a company for 10 years and I'm making that same 750,000 for that company. So when they locked me up for distribution and manufacturing of narcotics, guess what? They certified me distribution and manufacturing. I'm not distributing and manufacturing narcotics, but I am distributing and manufacturing words. I am distributing and manufacturing books. So they said I was a certified business. So when I looked at within myself, like, yo, you labeled me as this. Yeah, I am that because now I'm growing these companies, I'm building these brands, and I'm distributing words.
Right.
You know, like, yo, you can do whatever it is you want, whatever them charges is. Yo, tap in with the right people, change your circle, change your mindset, change your attitude. When you change your attitude, you'll change your perspective. And it's going to get hard, the ship going to get rocky, but stay down, stay patient, and just reel it in.
That's it. That's good. Look, change your attitude, change your perspective, change your mindset. So how can people who stay in contact with you, Eugene, how can they stay in contact? What can they find you at? What's your social media handles? Stuff like that. How can they
right now,
connect to ACE program as well?
Well, right now, if you just want to tap in with the ACE program, you can email me at aceacademy2020@gmail.com. I'm on Instagram at Graham0321, and I'm just regular Eugene Graham on Facebook. But I'm building all my platforms. I'm getting my team together because I can't do it by myself to be able to have a podcast and have things where people can tap in and vent and let things out, and I can help them grow.
Okay. Okay. So you said that was ACE Academy 20?
Yeah, 2020@gmail.com.
Okay. I'm putting this information in. I want to say thank you again, Eugene. I may have to put it in once this ends, but I want to personally thank you once again for being very transparent. I literally was shedding some tears in the very beginning because I didn't even know that, about your mom. I really didn't even know that situation had took place. So I thank you again for your transparency. Thank you for getting on here because this takes a lot of courage for someone to share their story, to be vulnerable with the people. You don't know who gonna come on. You don't know who gonna see this on the replay. So I truly, truly appreciate you, and I see so many great things coming in store for you as well as ACE program. I know you want to really bless and help transform so many lives of people that want their life to be changed. So, like I said, I thank you again. The people loved you. We appreciate you. You know, you stay connected with me. If I can help you any kind of way possible, I surely can, will. Do you have any final remarks?
Man, I just want everybody. First, I want to tap back in with you, man. In a couple months, man, I want to get back on here, man. But just to be transparent with anybody, like I said, man, the ship gonna get rocky. You're gonna have your ups and downs. You're gonna take your losses. But it's no such thing as depression. It's no such thing as that stuff. I know people say it, bro. That's just me. You at a low vibration. You got a low level energy. That just means that you don't have a lot of confidence in yourself at the moment, and you dwelling on the negativities and you dwelling on everything that's not going right. Because in our mind, if one thing go wrong, we think the next 10 things gonna go wrong. But if one thing go right, we don't think the next 20 things gonna go right. So what I'm saying is, no matter what, find the positive in anything and hold on to that, and not the negative things. And I'm gonna leave y'all with this. And the thing that I do to help me fight off depression or anything that I go through, I said it before. You can't see the picture because you're in the frame. So
Yeah.
I got four steps. I take myself 4 steps to help you be able to see what's really going on around you. One is, what's the problem? And when you say what's the problem, I mean what's stressing you out, what's frustrating you. And thirdly, only while you're going through them things, because either you don't have enough money or you don't have enough information.
Yeah.
So then step number 2, remove yourself from the situation, detach from everything. See what you have to learn. See what is the lesson being showed to you. And then how you gonna go about learning it. 3, organize all the facts. Then 4, man, just take action based on what you just put in order.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Eugene. You have really, really blessed me and my the audience, people that came on. If you have not already done so, you all, if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. If you on Facebook, like, share, comment. I do appreciate everyone who tuned in on tonight on our return of Not A Statistic TV. You all, we back like we never left you all. We coming back bigger and better. So the next show will not be next Friday because that is a holiday, you all. But we will be back on the 7th of June. So I look forward to actually seeing you all again. We're going to have another special guest tuning in, sharing their stories, that speaks, giving hope to the dreamers and visionaries of the world through storytelling on live video. So I said, thank you again, Eugene. We'll be staying connected. If you want to stay connected with Eugene, his information is actually pinned down in the comments. So thank you again. You can watch the replay on YouTube as well as Facebook. So you all have a great night, and thank you again, Eugene. Take care.
Thank you.